I used to think the world was loud. I used to think the hum of the refrigerator, the distant rhythmic roar of the highway, and the constant thumping of my own heart were the baseline of existence. But then, it happened. And suddenly, the world didn't just get louder. It became heavy. It became visceral. If you're watching this, you've probably spent late nights staring at the ceiling, wondering what it would actually feel like to wake up different. You've seen the movies where the hero looks in the mirror, sees a new physique, and masters their powers in a 3-minute training montage. I'm here to tell you, that's a lie. It is the sanitized version for people who aren't ready for the truth. The reality of ascending of your DNA, literally unwinding and rewriting itself in real time, is a violent, beautiful, and utterly terrifying transformation. This isn't a comic book origin story. This is the breakdown of what happens to your mind, your body, and your very soul when you stop being human and start becoming something else. It starts with the skin. It's a subtle thing at first, a mild sunburn-like prickling that crawls up your spine and settles right behind your eyes. You'll think you're getting sick. You'll check your temperature, drink some water, and assume it's just a late-season fever. But then, the lights start to bleed. You'll notice the LED bulb in your bedroom isn't just on anymore. You can actually see the frequency of the flicker, that 60 Hz pulse that every human brain is supposed to ignore. You can hear the electricity singing inside the walls, a high-pitched crystalline whine that makes your teeth ache. You realize in that moment that humans are essentially deaf, dumb, and blind to 90% of the universe. This is stage 1, the unlocking. Your brain's filtering system, the evolutionary dampener that stops you from noticing the feel of your clothes or the sound of your own blood rushing through your carotid artery, it simply breaks. Everything is too much. You smell the ozone of a rainstorm coming from 3 towns away. You hear your neighbor's heartbeat through 2 layers of brick and insulation, and it sounds like a drum in a cathedral. It's not a gift yet. It's a sensory prison. You'll spend hours curled in a dark corner, hands clamped over your ears, praying for the world to just shut up and go away. Once your senses stabilize, the biological reconstruction begins. And this is the part they never talk about in the stories. Your metabolism doesn't just speed up, it goes nuclear. You feel a hunger that is almost predatory, a hollow, aching void in your stomach that no amount of food can fill. You could eat a week's worth of calories in a single sitting and still feel like your cells are starving. That's because they are. They are demanding raw fuel to rebuild your bone density and weave carbon nanotube-like structures into your muscle fibers. Imagine every flu you've ever had, every growing pain from your teenage years, and every post-workout ache you've ever felt, all condensed into a single agonizing window of time. Your body is quite literally breaking itself down to build something better. You'll hear your joints popping, not a light crack, but a heavy metallic thud as they realign to support the new weight of your potential. Your vision shifts from 20/20 to something that doesn't have a numerical name. You don't just see the tree in your yard, you see the capillaries in the individual leaves. You see the heat rising off the pavement in shimmering waves of infrared. By the end of this reconstruction, you don't walk anymore, you glide. Every movement feels effortless, like the gravity of Earth has been dialed down by half. You feel light. You feel dangerous. You feel like a predator in a world of prey. Then comes the mental shift, the cognitive leap. This is where things get truly weird. It's not just your body that changes, it's the very way you process the 4th dimension, time. Have you ever been in a car accident? That split second where everything slows down, where you can see the glass shattering in slow motion, and every sound is stretched out like pulled taffy? That becomes your default setting. Your synaptic firing rate increases by a factor of 10. You aren't just smarter, you're faster in a way that's hard to describe. A conversation with a normal human begins to feel like watching a snail try to recite poetry. You find yourself finishing their sentences in your head 3 minutes before they even open their mouths. You start to see patterns in everything. The ebb and flow of the stock market, the hidden geometry of the weather, the tiny microscopic tremors in a person's hands when they lie to you. But there's a side effect to this brilliance: isolation. When you think this fast, the rest of the world feels like it's standing still. You start to lose touch with the now, because your mind is already 20 steps into the next. You stop being a participant in the human experience and start becoming an observer. You're a god trapped in a room full of statues, and the silence of that realization is deafening. Then, there is the emission. This is the peak. The moment you realize you aren't just a better human, you're a biological reactor. Whether your gift is kinetic energy, thermal manipulation, or something far more exotic, the power finally finds an exit point. It starts as a vibration deep in your chest, an itch you can't scratch, a pressure building up behind your sternum that feels like it's going to burst your ribs wide open. The first time you let it out, it is never intentional. Maybe you get angry at a headline. Maybe you get startled by a car backfiring. And then, the air ripples. The first time I felt it, I didn't mean to do anything. I just breathed out, and every window in my house shattered outwards simultaneously. Not because of a sound, but because of a displacement of reality itself. You realize then that you are no longer a part of the environment. The environment is now subject to you. This is the most dangerous stage. This is where most of us break. You have the power of a Category 5 hurricane, but you still have the temper and the insecurities of a flawed human being. Learning to hold that back to walk through a crowded mall without accidentally leveling a city block because someone bumped into you is the hardest thing you'll ever do. It's like trying to hold a live sun inside a paper bag and pretending it isn't burning your hands. Eventually, the fire dies down. The hunger fades to a dull, manageable roar. The lights stop blinding you. You enter the final stage, the integration. You look in the mirror, and for the most part, you look the same. Maybe your eyes are a bit more piercing. Maybe your skin is a bit clearer, but the world sees a person. But you know that you are a foreign object in your own life. You go back to work. You buy groceries. You pet your dog. But you do it all with the constant, crushing knowledge that you are holding back 99% of what you are, just to keep the world from breaking around you. Being super isn't about the flying or the strength or the glory. It's about the burden. It's the quiet weight of knowing that you are the most dangerous thing in every room you will ever enter. It's the loneliness of the summit. So, if you're feeling that strange heat in your spine today, if the lights in your room are starting to flicker in time with your pulse, don't be afraid. But don't expect it to be easy. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Good luck. You're going to need it.